for New Orleans to be the home of the Sun Belt. So we are very, very pleased to be front and center. And as you will see from the Poitras side, people here at SMG and the Superdome have been very gracious to us in giving us some tremendous signage outside the dome. We appreciate that a lot. A year ago, I stood before you with a modified Sunbelt logo that was optic yellow, but it wasn't the traditional Sunbelt logo that had been in place for 15 plus years, and I think I announced at that time that I was retiring that logo and that we would adopt a new logo in the future, one that would demonstrate the same type of bright future that I mentioned last year in my remarks. We've gone through that process and very pleased to be able to wear this shirt today with the Sunbelt logo. If you haven't had a chance to go on the Sunbelt website to look at how this was designed and kind of the origination of the logo, it does send a signal. It's that same signal of the sun, a very powerful piece of demonstration. And as I mentioned to you all last year that I thought the future was bright for the Sun Belt, I can safely say that this last year has been a very, very successful year. For those of you that have missed me on Twitter the last 7 or 8 or 9 months, I went back on this morning, and I will be up and running. I think we all have experienced the positives and negatives of that social media, and unfortunately I was forced to get off it last November and December, but I am back on it, and we'll try to use it in an effective manner. During the last 12 months, besides the new logo, besides the new office, besides the basketball tournament coming to New Orleans, besides adding 7 new members that we are so pleased and proud to have with us at these meetings and some AD meetings tomorrow, the 2012 Sun Belt football regular season was the most successful in the history of the Sun Belt Conference, having a 19-26 overall non-conference record with 7 wins against Conference USA, 2 wins against SEC, 2 wins against the MAC, and 1 win against the ACC, along with 5 bowl-eligible teams, 4 that went to bowl games, 2 out of the 4 winning bowl games. It was very easy to claim and announce and declare that 2012 was the best football season in Sun Belt history. And besides the success on the football field this past year, 2 men's basketball teams in the NCAA basketball tournament, 4 baseball teams in the NCAA tournament, and 3 softball teams in the NCAA tournament may go down as the overall best season across the board in the Sun Belt Conference. Looking ahead to 2013 on the football side, and this obviously is a football event, we have 30 non-conference games against FBS opponents. And when we talk about FBS opponents, the Sun Belt is again very proud that we are one of 10 FBS conferences now, as there has been some shrinkage. And to be in part of that elite company and to be able to play those teams, both some of our peer conferences and others, give us 30 opportunities to do what we did last year. Of those 30 games, 8 are against the SEC, 5 against the Big 12, and 4 against Conference USA. We also enter the 2013 football season with our 2 longtime bowl partners. I mentioned the R&L Carrier Bowl. We also are affiliated this coming year with the GoDaddy minus the .com Bowl, for those of you that saw that announcement coming out of Mobile. Now that's just the GoDaddy Bowl. We were very, very pleased with those 2 bowl partners as we look to this year and the opportunity to once again return to Mobile and to New Orleans, but at the same time knowing that we have the opportunity, should we have more than the 2 bowl eligible teams, to be able to place teams in other bowls like we've been able to do in the at-large field. This year's television agreement is probably going to be the strongest and the richest in terms of exposures. We announced earlier today 29 football games will be televised, of which 15 will be on the ESPN family, 7 Sun Belt Network, Sun Belt Conference Network. There will also be additional games announced more than likely post July 15th And then once we get into the season, based on some of the selection parameters of ESPN. And as we look to 2014, we begin tomorrow. The Sunbelt Athletic Directors will meet tomorrow for a day and a half of meetings, and one of the topics of conversation and discussion will be future non-conference scheduling and how can the Sunbelt manage in a strategic way our non-conference scheduling, balancing the need for competitiveness, balancing the need for revenue, but at the same time being able to put the Sunbelt in a position to take advantage of the new postseason playoff that goes into place next year, the college football playoff. That again, the Sunbelt will be a participant in that. As I'm sure you've read and heard, and most of you know that there will be 5 conferences: the Sunbelt, Conference USA, Mid-American, the American, and the Mountain West. Those 5 conferences will form an alliance of 5 conferences inside the new college football playoff. The highest rated team or the highest rated champion from those 5 conferences will be guaranteed a spot in one of the 6 elite games that will be played December 31st or January 1. As you know, there will be the 2 semifinal games. There will be 6 other games that will be labeled and branded at a point in time later on that will set those 6 aside from the rest of the bowl landscape. And the highest rated champion, will automatically go into one of those games. That certainly is our goal. It's the Sunbelt's goal is to be able to achieve that, and it has to be done with strategic non-conference scheduling, as we've seen across the country, whether it was Boise State or Hawaii or TCU. It just doesn't happen. It requires some planning, and it requires some concessions, and it requires some cooperation by our members, and it requires support from our presidents and chancellors down through the athletic directors. But that will be a significant agenda item for the athletic directors tomorrow. In addition to the opportunity for the Sunbelt champion to play in one of those elite games, this new college football playoff will provide a significant, and I say significant, increase in revenues to the Sunbelt, our peer conferences, and our member institutions. It has been reported. I'm not reporting anything that necessarily has not been reported, but approximately $80 million has been set aside for those 5 conferences, of which $50 million will be distributed equally, and the other 35 plus will be distributed based on performance. Another reason why the Sunbelt needs to really look at non-conference scheduling. Those 5 conferences will be ranked collectively, whereby the number 1 ranked conference, which we're doing something, we're doing right now anyway with our peer conferences. We don't know the methodology that will be used. We don't know the metrics that will be used, but those 5 conferences will be ranked 1 through 5, and there will be revenue assigned to each of those 5 spots, obviously with the number 1 ranked conference receiving more than the number 5. I will tell you that the number 5 slot is approximately $2 million, which means that beginning in 2014, the Sunbelt will receive a guarantee of $12 million from the new college football playoff. That compares to approximately $2.5 million that we've received from the current existing BCS that's been in place now for 6 or 7 years. So there are some real potential upside for the Sunbelt, and it comes at a time, again, when we look at the progress and we look at the success, we look at the commitment that our member institutions are making to facilities, that they're making to coaches, that they're making to their student athletes in terms of training facilities and the ability for them to train, and for summer school. The commitment has been tremendous, and the opportunity is there for the Sunbelt. In terms of future bowls, I mentioned that the 2 that we have for this next year, we will continue those into the next 6-year cycle, and the majority of the bowl contracts have expired or will expire after this year, which means that all the existing bowls are getting redone. And again, our expectation is that we will continue. We've already extended with GoDaddy, and we are close to extending with New Orleans. The reports that you've seen about discussion in Little Rock, Montgomery, Orlando, the Bahamas, Dubai, London, even the international games. There are individuals, there are promoters in all of those possible venues who are interested in getting into the postseason. And the Sun Belt is very confident that if we are not able to enter into an agreement with an existing bowl outside of New Orleans and Mobile, that we'll be part of a startup in one of those or two of those locations. And again, I think that we've demonstrated and proved that the quality of football will demand additional bowl games, and we are very, very excited to be able to, I think, to further and to increase and enhance our bowl opportunities. I'm going to stop there. Before I end, I will want to make some recognitions and identify some people that are here. Following a Q&A, I will be available for additional one-on-ones for those of you that I haven't been able to connect with today, along with Sun Belt athletic directors, along with some of our bowl partners that are here as well. So with that, I think there are two microphones or a microphone on either side. If you wouldn't mind identifying yourself and your outlet, and I know that there may be some of the media over in the work area that may want to get in on this as well. So.
Karl, you mentioned the importance of non-conference scheduling. What is it specifically that you want to see teams kind of have as a philosophy in terms of that going forward?
Tim, I don't think there's any one strategy that covers the entire membership. The athletic directors and football coaches need to recognize where their programs are in terms of their maturity, and they need to be able to schedule to that.